All right, so I'll admit it. I held off as long as I could, but the constant barrage talk of TikTok and everything that it brought to the table for everybody, whether it's killing time, entertainment, hilarity, whatever, all this stuff I heard. I held off as long as I could, but I finally downloaded the stupid thing just because I was curious of what in the world everybody was talking about. And let me tell you something. While a nice 5 to 6% of it is mildly entertaining, I have just been very bothered by what I've seen on TikTok because so much of it is so freaking stupid. Now, I don't understand if I've ruined the algorithm because I don't get like videos of puppies and stuff. So I guess I've clicked on and been entertained by some of the darker side of TikTok because I made a list of some of the things that I've come across and seen. And some of it is just so bad. You just want to punch these people. They're just so ignorant. But here's some of the things that I see, okay? First of all, there seems to be a lot of interest in pimple popping, cyst popping, cleaning out earwax like bugs and huge chunks and gobs of nastiness in your ears, as well as doing a lot of ingrown toenail work, okay? Let me speak for the masses when we say that no one wants to see this stuff. No one is impressed by the fact that you've got a nice 8-ounce jar of cottage cheese in the side of your neck, okay? So let's just leave that part out. I think if you've seen one of those, you've probably seen them all. And that, Pimple Popper MD, whatever that girl on YouTube is that's just turned into a YouTube sensation, awesome, whatever. I think she's a legit dermatologist, but most of this stuff is Stacy and Barney in their trailer lancing things they probably shouldn't be lancing, over their couch. It's just quite disgusting. The second thing is there seems to be an inordinate amount of people, specifically their parents, because obviously these people can't, function for themselves in a lot of cases. People with birth defects, people that have spina bifida, cerebral palsy, they're confined to wheelchairs. They have to use like sticks to point to computer letters to be able to speak. They're catatonic, all this stuff. They're just mangled. Their frames are all, their spines are just everything. And they're just, for lack of a better word, freaks like you would see in the circus. Went to the state fair one time and I paid 50 cents to walk in and see like the crab girl. And it looked, I walk into this trailer and I'm staring at this poor little girl that is, she looked like she was like 23 and she's got crab like, hands and feet and like club feet and all this weird stuff. And she's just sitting there and people were just paying 50 cents to just come in and look at her. And it was just such a sad thing, I guess. And apparently that is a huge component of what we see on TikTok. There are so many people that clearly their parents are trying to profit, and some of them probably are profiting by the hundreds of thousands of subscribers and followers, whatever they're called, that these people have, by again exploiting the deficiencies that these people's physical beings have. And it's kind of sad, okay? And the whole time you're sitting there like fascinated by what you're seeing, but also saddened by the fact that someone's put this on an app or the internet or whatever you want to call that. There is also a huge component, no pun intended, of people that have ginormous breasts being able to dance or, just swing around their house and lip sync to songs and whatnot. And it appears that the bigger breasts you have, the more followers you have. And then I've found that there are a lot of Hispanics, it's all, Spanish music, Mexican music, whatever you want to call it, and they're breastfeeding, just all out for the world to see, but it's only Hispanics, and I don't quite understand that either, because there otherwise doesn't seem to be any nudity on TikTok from what I've seen, but it's just a strange thing that you've got this and that, and never the twain shall meet, but a huge component from what I can tell is lip syncing. And lip sync is fine. Okay, cool. But be able to lip sync, okay? Because most of these people, it's just dubbing this and they're singing over here and they don't match at all. These people, learn the words if you're going to lip sync, okay? I think that's probably one of the first rules of good lip syncing is knowing the words to what you're trying to make people believe you're saying. And there are so many. God, I've got, and it's a train wreck. I rubberneck, and I cannot stop looking at some of this stuff. I've got this couple that I follow. No, I don't follow anybody, but I see them regularly. They come up in my feed or my timeline, whatever it's called, and it's just this dude and this girl. She's hideously ugly by anyone's standards. He's covered in tribal tattoos. They're just straight out of the trailer park kind of people, right? I think we understand what I'm saying. And they just get every country song that apparently has ever been made, and they just sing it to each other as a duet, or one of them singing to the other or whatever. And it is absolutely horrific. It's painful to watch. It's so poorly performed. And yet, I feel so dumb because I keep going, click on more of it, because it just, I don't know what it is. What it is that about something that talent is not even a component of it, and yet you can't stop watching it. Then there's clearly just ugly people. Ugly, morbidly obese, gelatinously harpoon-scarred, gross people by, again, anyone's standards. People that you couldn't imagine them finding a mate in life if they were handing out gold bars. I mean, and I do appreciate the self-deprecation that it takes for somebody that, weighs 478 pounds, that gets on there and dances without a shirt, because we're just like, it's horrific. It really is. And yet you can't not look sometimes, because it's just so like, wow, like what have you done to yourself? You will never be skinny again. And if you are, you'll just have all those mounds of loose skin that, in my opinion, probably looks worse than if you just remain fat. But then you've got ugly people on the other hand. Sometimes the morbidly obese and the ugly kind of go hand in hand, but you've got people that meth mouth is apparently a huge way to get followers. People, I think, are just astounded by how horrifically nasty you can get your teeth to just turn into stubs and missing and black and everything else. Either from, again, smoking things like meth to, which is understandable when you consider the chemicals that are put into meth. I mean, that's pretty much what you're just gargling with, toilet emulsifier, basically. It's not going to do well for the enamel and the healthiness of your los dientes. But also just people that are just disfigured, horribly scarred, missing parts of their body, whether it's like just, one eye, they're, got like a huge elephantitis on the side of their face or whatever, just some kind of, circus freak or whatever. And then you go into the very popular, but God, so annoying, I will give them the fact that they are fairly well produced. Like they've obviously staged it and practiced and all that stuff, but these husbands and wives that just like act out these things that are so clearly staged, it makes me want to wring someone's neck. The fact that they think this is getting over on people. And then you read the comments and it's like, staged, and like, a good one, Jonathan. I appreciate you bringing that to everybody's attention, as if we couldn't tell that, Mary and Todd weren't faking this. I mean, it's so stupid and so played out. It's quite annoying. Then there's the people that are clearly trying to get rich off of it. And they don't really bring anything to the table. And it's going to be a long haul to be rich. From what I understand about making a monetization off of these things, you've got to have millions of followers or views or whatever for there to be any kind of monetary compensation. But I'll give you an example. I've got a guy that I can't look away from. I fixate on how stupid he is. But basically, this is what he does 3 or 4 or 5 times a day. Hey, what's up, TikTok? I just want to say hello to all my followers. Y'all hit at me at the comments and, get at me and just let me know how your day is going. So, let's get it, dude. Like, he just says that, and then he'll say it in a different form, an hour later. What's up, TikTok? Just saying, hey, what's going on? What's cracking? What's popping today? Just seeing what's going on. Let's get at it. Let's get it, dude. And that's basically what he brings to the table. It's just a whole crescendo of those, one after the other after the other. And I'm like, and what's funny about it is no one likes it, no one follows it, no one comments on it, or at least very rarely. And it's like, dude, you're clearly doing this because you think that there's going to be some money at the end of this rainbow. And without putting out something that people are interested in seeing, why would anybody follow this? It's maddening. It's madness and maddening. So there's that. Dental procedures. This is a large contingent of what I see. People that have never brushed their teeth, apparently. That way, plaque builds up. Plaque turns into tartar. Tartar turns into calculus. And now you have concrete stuck to the back of your teeth. And it needs to be chiseled off with an air hammer, okay? And you open their mouth, and like the entire inside of their gum line is just covered in what looks like blocks of hard cheese, and it's absolutely disgusting. And I cannot imagine the horrendous smells that ruminate out of that person's mouth. My mother was a dental hygienist, and she told me stories. I was asking her, I was like, what do you have to do to get your teeth to this degree of degradation? And she was explaining just, years and years of just not doing anything to your teeth, basically, on top of, Mountain Dew and cigarettes and everything else that you could possibly do bad for your mouth and all this stuff. And she's like, she was basically describing the fact that the smell will knock you on your ass. It is absolutely one of the most horrific things that you could ever be in the room with. And it's not like it's just contained to the orbit around someone's head, but also to like the waiting room. People are out there looking at Good Housekeeping or Mademoiselle or Red Book or whatever. 17 ways to make a guy like you. And what in the hell why does it smell like hot garbage? That kind of stuff. So, but there's that. And then there's people getting their teeth extracted, getting dentures put in, implants in their gums because they don't have any teeth. And apparently people without teeth, going back to the meth mouth thing, are at least self-deprecating enough and proud to say that, hey, I ain't got no teeth, so let's see if we can get some people to follow, just so they go, what have you done? That, and I guess that's the ticket to, punching this ticket, right? Very weird. Self-loathing. There's a lot of self-loathing. There's a lot of deep depression and mental illness on TikTok from what I've seen. From my non-clinical but experienced pathway through life, I kind of understand a lot about mental illness, and never having suffered it myself, but seen tons of it in my life. It abounds on this particular app. It's crazy. The people that just don't seem to care, and it's insane. You got a lot of First Amendment auditors going around trying to get police officers to arrest them, and these stupid police officers just fall for the bait every time. Of course, I'm sure there's just as many police officers that are like, all right, have a good day, and walk the other way because they realize that there is a First Amendment contingent to being able to do certain things within the realm of filming and taking pictures and just being in public places within reason. But they capture, of course, the dumb ones that they go in there and, they go out, they get a call, and they go out there and start interacting with these people, and they just made themselves look like horses' asses when they're done with it. There seems to be a ton of those. And quite frankly, I mean, it's I don't endorse it, but it is nice that they're out there at least teaching the police that, hey, you don't quite know as much as you probably should about what you can and can't do as a citizen. So you might want to get a little bit more better organized on what the legalities of the Fourth Amendment and your First Amendment rights are allowing you to do as a U.S. citizen, because this isn't Luxembourg or Uruguay. So this is America. Then I see a lot of life hacks, and most of these hacks are things that I would never do. It would take me longer to do the hack than it would to just save time by not doing the hack and just doing it the old way I've been doing, but just some dumb stuff out there. And then the last thing I see a ton of, or way too much of, is rapping. Okay. There seems to be, there's only 340 some million people in this country. We can only listen to so much rap, okay? And if everybody in the country listened to 10 rappers, we still would have way more rappers than we need, because everybody thinks they can rap. Stop being a rapper, okay? And your studio is not a microphone in a Super 8, okay? That's a hotel room. Actually, I speak incorrectly. That's a motel room, a motor lodge or something like that. But you are not a rapper just because you can get your hands on one of these and write some slick beats, some lines, and put them to some app music that you've found on your phone. I think there's way too many people trying to be profitable through rapping, and perhaps need to go ahead and start working at the warehouse that they're destined to do. And along with these rappers, we could cover face tattoos. Face tattoos have really picked up in the last 5 or 6 years. And believe me, I am completely pro tattoo. I have half of my body covered in tattoos. So I wholly endorse them. But you got to reserve your hands and your face and your neck and your ears and everything else for career paths that you know that you've either already made or have already considered what they're going to be. Because like it or not, people are going to judge you. And we've not quite gotten to the point where, 60-year-old ladies walk into a Hardee's and they're okay with tattoo necks or neck tattoos. We've just not gotten there. I'm sure it's coming, but a neck tattoo, putting your girl's initials here and some lips right here, that used to be the thing, 10 years ago. And now we've gone to writing your girl's full birth name here and her horoscope here and putting lonely across your eye and hard working over on this one. And then, some, dots on your nose. I mean, let's calm it down till we figure out what exactly our lot in life is. And then we can kind of go branch out from there and say, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z for a living. And it's turned out to be lucrative. So now I can tattoo, this space for sale across my forehead or put, some barbed wire. Post Malone can get away with that because he's Post Malone. But otherwise, barbed wire, you don't really need that across your forehead till, again, we kind of decide what we want to do in life. So again, did I cave? I did. I caved. And it is endless entertainment. I mean, you can't get to the end of it, it seems. So in that sense, you can just sit there and scroll and just be like, what is wrong with the world that we are living in, particularly this country? It did get me, and I will admit that it is entertaining, but it's also absolutely, as I said earlier, maddening. It's maddening to know the collective intelligence quotient of this country has got to hover around the 90 to 102 range if we took an average sample. And that's counting the fact that we have some really brilliant minds in this country, and they are the outliers, unfortunately, for this scale because of how stupid a lot of these people are, and many of them are on TikTok. Good evening. Giddy up.